I'm so excited about this idea. And so I think it could be something that's cool for the group also. I've been trying this out myself. So you get in a group of either like 2 or 3, sometimes 4. 4 might be a little bit big. And we basically split the time in however many pieces. So everyone has an equal amount of time. You even set a timer so it's really enforced. Jump in and you use your time to set up, like, this is what's keeping me up at night, or this is what something I'm struggling with. And so far, like right now I'm doing themes in the way that we're doing it, and one of them is like, what's next for me? So one of the things that I'm hearing from a lot of people is that they're trying to kind of figure out, like, oh, is there like a new side hustle or a pivot or something that I'm trying to get off the ground, and I could really use some feedback, right? Like, so feedback, thought partnership, and accountability are really the cornerstones. So whatever the theme is, whether you're, like launching a new offer or something like that for your business, or you want to update your website, or you want to launch a Substack, whatever that is, the group is your thought partners in whatever feedback you might want, whatever like ideation would be helpful. They can also be your accountability partners, so you can like set goals and then check back in. And also they could be, almost like market research for whatever you're doing. So like I said, we're, as part of Hype HQ, we're doing this pilot right now that's in these meetings, like, oh, I've got something I'm struggling with, bringing it up, getting feedback, getting some brainstorming. It really gets the juices flowing. So that's the kind of idea that I had for joining this, and that I thought would be helpful for all of us, right? And, ambassadors we could do together either in the meetings or separately, but it just hasn't really come together from that angle. So we're taking it in our own hands.
How do we take this question, because maybe only a couple people were able to be live in that huddle, but now how do we share it with all of the ambassadors, because there's a lot of superpowers, over 2,600 globally, who might have like amazing input on what it is that you're doing right now. And instead of seeking out and searching LinkedIn and trying to find those people, or going to the directory and trying to see who it is, if we could share that question that you had today and your idea, even a clip it, recycled it, and put it as one of your updates this month. Hey, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm working on. If you have superpowers in this area, please provide me direct feedback, and here's how you can reach me. That way, what you just did, that 5 minutes, could actually be amplified and recycled out there to all of the ambassadors. And when they do have 10 minutes, it might be a totally different time zone. They could respond to you, and you'll still get the feedback you want.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking in terms of how we could take whatever quickly we do in a huddle, how could we recycle it as a group, and then basically upload that so that everybody can check in once a month for 10-15 minutes, see what people are up to, offer feedback. Love to share my screen to show you how we do that. And this is something that I'd be able to offer the group and would love to do. Okay, so this is just one that I whipped up really quick, a way for us to do this ourselves. What I was thinking is, anytime you have a question for the group that's big, you can put it in here, and we can get some chats going that are specifically hoping to get feedback. And once a month, be able to upload a question or a hello, whether it's that video clip from the live, or if you want to record something separate, or share story and advice. Hey, this is what I did. This is what I learned. This was super helpful. When we submit it, it can actually auto-generate to our own profiles. And so once a month, we could go in here and we could see what people are up to or what they've answered. My thought was, this is a way for us to automate it ourselves, to still provide the update, but have the opportunity to meet live in a huddle, do something like that in person. If you can't make it, or even if you can, you could still check in and upload something, and we can get this orchestrated peer-to-peer support once a month done, even if you can't always be live. So I'm curious, just by sharing that, if that's something that might interest the group or be something that could be helpful. What do you guys think?
I think that's nice idea. Like to get connected and to see where the updates, what updates do we have? Like to get connected each other.
Yeah, so I like it, and I like the idea that we can come together and talk about problems that we need solutions. But if I know humans very well, sometimes problems that need solution is great. Is we also need to create room for like social connectivity, so that
Mhm.
when people feel like they're helping somebody, they don't feel like they're helping a stranger.
Yeah,
Because once you create that connection point where you're like, oh yeah, I'm coming in here to help Alexis, it's a little bit different than uh, some random stranger on the internet, right? Which is,
oh,
I'm not saying
totally.
that because we're WTM, we know each other a little bit more. But then I will be like, okay, how does Alexis take feedback, or how does Alexis like to take feedback? Does she listen? Am I wasting my time? It's also part social, part problem solving,
I
part
love it.
uh, maybe not technical. We could talk about family and relationship solving too, things like
Yeah,
that, and create connections in that context. Although I know we're technical women, but we still have a life, right? So like I feel like most times when things start out with like let's just keep it tech, we miss out on the human part of things.
that's it.
And that's the point. I feel like if we can connect that point, then it's very easy for people to continue the relationship.
Definitely agree with all that.
Yeah, I just had okay, so bear with me. My brain is going to a lot of places. Um, so when I think about the monthly sync, I think what it sort of did was allow for everyone to sort of reconnect, talk about wins, areas of improvement, or any sort of, unblocking someone needed, and then any direct updates from the global team, right, and the regional team. And then there's this other world that exists where the community themselves are, if I'm hearing correctly, and please correct me if I'm not, that is the community sort of looking for, you know, knowledge, so learning, mentorship, and connection. Yeah, so growth, connection, and mentorship, right?
Yeah.
And so we know that the mentorship program, whether being a mentee or a mentor, is one element to sort of to address the mentoring. Then we've got this idea of like knowledge sharing. So everyone from Liz to Alexis, I'm just picking on you two because you're the skills development of things, like the education side. And so like if you think about the monthly sync, it seems like the monthly sync could be without adding to anybody's plate, because you know how we have the monthly sync, your activities need to be in order for you to receive the perks. There's all of these things, and as it was mentioned, like life is real, people are busy. And
Yeah.
so when I think about this grassroots approach of owning what WTM looks like from the ambassador lens, I think it'd be interesting to see if you can sort of categorize what things look like. So like sort of think about it as like the monthly syncs exist, right? But it's peer-to-peer support. But in between what that peer-to-peer support could look like could be the actual mentoring program, right? So having people sign up and support. Then there's the knowledge sharing. And then your monthly syncs will almost be like your monthly syncs will exist for the connection and the updates, but they could be themed, right? So it's rather than, so I guess to plainly put it is like, imagine what already exists, but it's just fine tuned from the lens, like the perspective of the ambassadors. So it's built by them for them. Right. And so like I can help like set that up and what that looks like. But these were just some thoughts where I think the added element of, you know, problem solving. So when I think of like when we used to do the breakout rooms, everybody loved that. That was like the jam, right? And so maybe those breakout rooms, depending on the theme, could be used to like help somebody unblock and set up that way. So like that's a new element, but then you consistently have engagement amongst the group or ambassadors at their leisure based off of their schedule, because everybody's life is a bit different. Those were just my random thoughts. And there they are.
I love it. I do think that, you know, there are things in the monthly syncs that are, you know, are working, and probably could be like expanded on a little bit to work even better. I guess like my concern is when they don't happen.
1,000%.
Yeah. And then I don't know, for me, I feel like we kind of start losing the momentum of the amazing connections that we all have. And that definitely makes me really sad. And I think, especially when I think about like the newest crop, like I only a year, well, I guess maybe it's 2 years now, but the newest crop of people, I feel like they really haven't had an opportunity to build any of the connections at all because of so many cancellations. And I totally understand like that if, you know, and I know you've been talking about this too. So could maybe if there are no updates, could the meeting still be held, but then take a different form?
So I apologize. I should have been clear. I'm saying I think this is something ambassadors should own. And
Oh,
help
that
support. So it's exactly under the same token in which you put together this meeting, because you're like, we need these things, we'd like to do these things. And so I think it's within that, like that's the same approach I'm taking. And so all I'm saying is don't worry about like heavy lifting or reinventing the wheel. I think the ambassador feedback helped restructure what it is the ambassadors want. The difference this time is you have something in place. And so maybe this might be something where you say to like, we can speak to Tanya and kind of say like, we have this meeting that exists.
Yeah.
Do you want to participate? Right?
Yeah.
Like we can update you, because I think the reporting, when I think about the accountability to the organization, so Google, is really based off of the data that's put in at Voku. Right? And so it doesn't necessarily take into account the holistic experience. So
No.
you know, like the wonderful work the ambassadors are doing in such great detail. And so I'm just thinking what I'm hearing and what I've been hearing is mentorship, growth in terms of like skills development, training, etc., and then community. And so that without adding more than you already have on your plate, how could we maybe just duplicate this, but owned by the ambassadors?
You could get it to 20-minute sessions. Like today, people fell off after 15 minutes. That's the reality of, I think, a lot of our schedules. But if we know we could get there, we know that 15-20 minutes is going to be like focused, engaged, active, action-oriented, I think we would just have a lot more, you know, consistency, could build up that momentum again that I feel like we've lost a little bit.
I agree with you. Sorry, Liz, just one quick thought. I was also going to say, like, if you were to take so when you think of like the mentorship or the skills like sharing, even outside of the monthly sync, if you guys are running, let's say a workshop that Liz is presenting at, like co-organizing all that counts as activity, right? So you wouldn't necessarily have to like double any sort of effort or add more time. Like think of, I don't know, these are just some thoughts that I'm having in my head where it's like, so you want to keep, I agree with you, keep variety in the meeting, and give people opportunity to allocate the appropriate time. But when it comes to like the cake of what it is that, depending on what it is that ambassadors want, and this might just be a poll for you guys to get an answer, you can then what do they say? Feed two birds with one piece of bread. Create like adjacent activities and programming to be able to like meet your activity that you need for the year, keep momentum going, engagement going. So it's not like this lull that happens at the month. It's like, oh, all these things occurred. Those are just my thoughts. Liz, go.
Yeah, I wanted to contribute to what you all were saying. One of the things that just came out was some sort of cadence and predictable parts of a meeting. So I thought immediately about television series. And one of my favorite things that they were doing, I don't know if Caitlin came up with this or somebody else, but I always liked getting to see the people that, I've spent more time with when we've all been together in California, for example. But then there's this fun random part of certain WTM meetings where they put you in a room with strangers. You don't choose. They just say, for the last 10 minutes of this, we're all going to go to a designated room, and it breaks up like that. And I discovered some really cool people just haphazardly that way. And you got that social component. So I agree with you entirely that building skills, getting feedback, maybe you're developing a new product and you want that feedback, or somebody wants to load an app I'm building. That's wonderful. Those are two wonderful components. Just for feedback and wrap up today, the thing I'm really missing, especially since we didn't go to IO together, I'm missing that human connection. And I don't know how to get it. I have an idea. I'm based in Southwest Florida. I neglected to say that at the top of the hour. So there's no tech here in Sarasota, none whatsoever. I'm very far from any tech hub. So what I'm thinking is that spring and autumn are usually your conference seasons. And I'm thinking about organizing and paying for my own travel around maybe a conference. So I need to go to Seattle anyway. Maybe there's a great conference that Paulina or others could make me aware of, and I would tend to book my date around that. I'm talking about kind of the hit of synergy with a group, and that was just an idea I had about how to get the social component, the in-person component, is attending a conference on AI or tech, or maybe it's a JavaScript thing, I don't know. But kind of planning to go to that conference and have that be part of that week or 10 days that I'm in a location. And of course I can apply to be a speaker at these conferences, but at the moment, as I said before, I'm experimenting. I don't feel like an expert at the moment on anything other than how to pass your coding interview with GPT. So still working on that, by the way, still keeping those muscles strong. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment.
We all are happy to lead it. I think we just need the structure and the format and the tools to be handed over to the ambassadors so that we can really drive the ship more. And yeah, this is exciting. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for hopping on. And
Thank you. Good to see everyone.
Good to see you all. If
Thank
you need
you.
anything, let me know, okay?
Yeah,
thank
good
you
to see
so
you all.
much.
You're welcome.
Great to see you. Have a wonderful summer.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.